Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Welcome to the Blacksmith Podcast, where we forge guys into men. Today, we are doing our Saturday segment where we talk about financial topics. I said last week we were going to go over the Boxable call. We ended it about 10 minutes, but for anybody who didn't see it, I'm probably going to start it back over at the beginning. Let's start with some news. Some news from the Blacksmith Podcast. I have more T-shirts made, and I left them in the bag when I picked them up in my trunk. But I have more T-shirts made. I'm gonna show those. I have them in white. I have in orange. I've got red. Um, and I found a T-shirt vendor, and two of them, in fact. One that'll do drop shipping. So when you order it on Shopify, which I didn't put the link up there yet because I had just shaken hands with them, but and then one that I can go get them made and I can have them on hand and sell them myself. I think I might take sales on Cashapp. I'm still trying to work all of that out. I put the Cash App in the videos. I probably have a Zelle link, and my wife is helping me with all of that. You might notice something different behind me. It is called a green screen. No pink. All right. For you, I might do pink. A loyal subscriber and live attender. So yeah, I might do it for you. A special edition though. Once they're limited edition. Once they're gone, they're gone. So if it's one, it's you and done. No, I'm just kidding. But so for my birthday just hit. By the way, I am now. Y'all could probably not guess it, or you might guess it, and that might be bad. I got a little wisdom down here. Last year, my dirty 30s, as they say. First of all, my 30s weren't dirty. I'm just saying. But that's what they say. Them that are they. So on June 9th, I hit that, and my wife got me this nice computer chair for the studio and this green screen. So I'm gonna be using this in my videos. Now I gotta readjust this camera. All right, y'all work with me with this camera. Pray for me. I don't have an audio or visual tech. All right, so cutting off the top of my head, whatever. That's news on the home front. And then let me close this water up before I spill it. What else? What else? What else? The Blacksmith Podcast is now 13 months old. I didn't announce that, but in May, I don't remember May what, but I have to get the official birth date from YouTube. But I can't remember when I started it, but in May it hit a year old. So we've been doing this for a year now. It has 264 subscribers of people who want to hear financial literacy and not just want to be entertained all day. Um, so I appreciate you. I haven't earned one penny doing it either, just so you know. And it's not a flex, like I don't take money. No, I'll take donations. You want to donate to the church? Let me not say that. I take that back. Lord, forgive me. I'm not even Catholic. Did I do that right? No, I take donations, but I haven't received a penny, and I say that to say this: I'm just a dude that cares, right? I'm just a dude that cares. I do this all day in real life, giving investment knowledge, giving mentorship on manhood, just trying to help people. I was doing it yesterday. There's a new sailor that came to my division maybe a month ago. Yeah, he got here in May, and he was talking about something. I was asking one of the guys that was in my office um, about investing or credit and all that stuff. And then the new guy that walked in, he's an E5. He talked about that he doesn't invest in the stock market. And then so I went into the spiel. Well, do you like how inflation is eating up your dollar? He was like, huh? I was like, well, I mean, what's inflation every year? He didn't know, 3%. And I showed him what it does to $100, $97 worth of spending power the next year, $1,000. $970 worth of spending power next year, and I went all the way to $1 million, 970,000. Now, most people would be like, I still got 970,000. Yeah, but you need the whole million to equal $970,000 worth of spending power. And then in 10 years, when it's not down 3%, it's down 30%. You need the whole million to equal $700,000 of buying power. Because $1 million home right now that you could have purchased cash, when you try to put that on $1 million home in 10 years, that $1 million is only going to be about 70% of the worth of the house was today. That's what that means. Inflation, folks. So and then somebody mentioned the podcast. You got a podcast, and so it was. Yeah, so I guess it sounds like big news, but like we're doing it over here. We are doing it. I'm just trying to spread a little love and knowledge that I didn't have. My mom and daddy didn't teach me this stuff because they only taught me what they knew, right? So I'm going above and beyond. Now, as you can see my screen, I have up Boxable. And I have up some latest news. Now, we've been talking about investing in Boxable. I don't accept no cookies, so y'all just pardon that. I'm not doing it. But the latest and greatest news on Boxable, it's still $1,000 minimum to invest at 80 cents per, which will buy you, I think it was 1,200 shares. Y'all can see my calculator, right? Let's do some math. So $1,000. I ain't typing. Hold up now. $1,000 divided by 0.8, 1,250. 1,250. There we go. All right. So you get 1,250 shares, and then again, this company is still private. So that's why it's such big news, right? The company is still private. When it gets its next evaluation, which I think is going to happen in June on the 24th, if you look behind I think it's the 24th that it's going to happen. But whatever. And then if you see right here on June 9th, it says they intend to merge with SPAC targeting NASDAQ listing. I didn't know that. So we're going to jump into some news before we do the call. However, why is this big news? Number one, let's go with the share price, right? That's really not the number one. We're going to go with number two. Number two first. We're going to do that number first because this is the lesser of the news, I think, in my opinion. You'll see why. So the share price, if you got in at 80 cents, they merge or they IPO and the stocks end up being $40, right? Let's say they're $40 per share. You subtract out your 80 cents. It's at $39.20 worth of equity in the stock. In each share, remember, you had 1,250 shares. You would have $49,000 in your portfolio. Now, why is this big news? And we talked about this before, because before, in order to invest in private companies, I had that tab up. You had to have $1 million net worth at least, and you had to at least be earning, if you were single, $200,000 a year. And you had to, or if you're married, $300,000 a year, and you had to been doing it. You had to be on your third consecutive year of doing it, right? So you had to have 2 years on the books, and you have to show that you're on the trajectory to earn it your third year. And so that locks out most Americans, right? Because I looked it up, the average man only earns $17.94 an hour. So if you think about that, times 40 hours a week, 717.6 times 52 weeks in a year, $37,000. Now, there might be people working more overtime, but I saw the average work week is like 32 to 40 hours. So we use 40 over here. We go off of that. So that's what the average guy is earning. That's not much, folks. That's average, right? So if you think about it, average ain't good enough nowadays. It ain't good enough. I don't talk relationship drama over here. We ain't doing the man versus woman. But if you look on social media, it seems to be that the narrative is that 37,000 is not good enough for the average. The average woman does not want a guy earning the average wage anymore. The average wage is not good enough to buy the American dream. A single family home, 3 bedrooms, 1 or 2 bathrooms, 1,500, 1,200 square feet. You can't even purchase a single family home with $37,000 anymore, right? So the average isn't good enough. You can't even get a new car on that salary. You shouldn't get a new car on that salary. So what do you do when average isn't good enough? Well, fortunately, there is a fix to that American dream. You can own a home less than this. I'm sorry, folks. I don't know if you can hear the scratching at the door. Let me let my little pincher into the room. Somebody's not muted. The queen has arrived. A little pincher. She's pinching the door. I didn't want that to be all in the sound. So let's go over this news really quickly. No, I'm not doing that. Anyway, so Boxable, they're talking about merging with SPAC. I don't even know what SPAC is. With a NASDAQ listed special purpose acquisition company. Oh, that's not the name of the company. Okay. So this is news to me, by the way. This came out 5 days ago, and I'm just getting up on it. All right. So I do work a 9 to 5. Let's see. It will result in Boxable becoming a publicly listed company. Okay, so now I'm interested even more because if they're on the NASDAQ, which I knew that, but still, if they're on the NASDAQ, they're going to IPO, right? So they're going to be publicly listed at that point, which means the average person can invest in it. And this is why they have that cutoff of June 24th, I believe it is, for the $1,000 investment at 80 cents per share, right? So I'm telling you, y'all better be excited on this. And listen, if you don't think you have the $1,000 to spare, if I could show you that in the future, now trading has considerable risks. My brother's on, so I got to say this because he will remind me. You better tell him you're not licensed. I'm not licensed yet. All right. This is my professional opinion and viewpoint and vantage point, but it is unlicensed. The Hodge twins used to say that. But when are you gonna find another opportunity to become a venture capitalist? If you don't know what that is somebody who goes around investing into ideas or private companies in order to bring up their evaluation. They raise their seed money, their seed rounds of money so that they can build infrastructure, buy trucks, hire employees, and they can start building the company. Usually it's always before they go public, right? Because once they're public, the way they can raise the money is they put out shares of the company, bits and pieces of the company that if you put them all together as shares, they make 100% of the puzzle, right? Be excited because if you didn't know about Boxable before you saw me out here, I'm not even paid by them yet. Boxable, SPAC, I mean, the special, whoever they're trying to merge with, listen, the Blacksmith Podcast is at your service for the nominal fee of, no, I'm just kidding. Now, I'm not kidding, but let's work out the numbers off camera. Now, if you didn't know about the fact that you probably didn't even know, 9 times out of 10, most of y'all probably didn't even know you were locked out of investing in private companies. That's why them that are they said the rich get richer, right? They do, because it takes money to make money. They don't trust the average guy only earning $37,000 a year, right? Because what if he invests in that and they take that money and they use that money, and let's say they're not going to return your investment for 2 years, for 5 years, 10 years sometimes. That $37,000 earning guy is going to need that money back sooner than that. That's why. So there is a component of locking the average earning person out of investing in the private companies because they need people who are signed, sealed, delivered. Stevie Wonder. or and can and have income or investment money that they're not going to see back for a couple years. They need people who can wait on their investment. So be very, very excited that you get an opportunity just with $1,000 to invest. Now, if I could show you that $1,000 could turn into 49,000, 49x your initial investment, would you borrow from mama? Would you borrow from a son? Would you borrow from your brother? Would you borrow against your retirement? I would, right? That's just me. Some people don't want to touch their retirement. Some people don't even know they can borrow against their retirement, and the interest they would pay, paying it back slowly over time, is paying back into your retirement fund as well. Some people don't know that. So the more you know, right? I've borrowed against my retirement, and I'm going to tell you, if I knew I could 49x my money, let's just look at this real quick, right? So let's say you put 10,000 into Boxable. I invested, what was it, 3,800? So I got 4,200 shares. But let's just say you could get 10,000 shares, right? You would get 12,000. I guess you just add zeros. Yeah, so you would have 12,500 shares. Now let's do the same thing, right? And then we're going to read this news because I think y'all get it, right? So if you do 39.2, right? Because let's say it IPO'd at $40. Let's show you every step of the way, and then you minus what you started with, the 0.8. Now 39.2 times 12,500, you'd have 490,000. Now who wouldn't take $10,000 and spend in Boxable? But if I could show you the future and guarantee it, then you would push the button. But nothing ventured, nothing gained. Nothing risked, nothing gained. So yes, it has considerable risk. It also has considerable reward. And I will tell you, with Boxable, this one's more public news than a lot of other companies that are private. Like, you got to go on like Angels List and other things to find private companies, and maybe you might be able to invest in them. This one is all over social media, but if you're looking at relationship content, you're not going to find it. But they do this in commercials. And so all you got to do is click a button, like a video, boom, the algorithm will start sending you video after video after video. So anyway, let's get into the news. I think y'all get it. Okay, so upon closing the proposed transaction, the combined company is expected to remain listed on NASDAQ stock market. The proposed transaction represents a significant step in Boxable's mission to revolutionize affordable, sustainable housing. Boxable currently has over 50,000 investors. TBP is one of them. Representing an aggregate investment of over $200 million who have shown support in Boxable's mission and vision. And again, Boxable's still public. Okay, so they don't want to say what the company is. That's why they keep using SPAC. I thought SPAC was the ticker in the stock market. It's not. It just means right here, the special purpose acquisition company. So they don't want to say who it is right now. They're keeping it private. And I will tell you that SPAC, if they're already public, if they keep this private, I'm sure their friends and stuff are going to know, or if you follow that company, they may have already put out news that it's them, or there's, insider trading happens. It's totally illegal, by the way. But if you're already invested in that company, when they merge with them, their shares are going to go up because their shares are going to become tied to this company right here. So I don't know if they're going to remain even with the name Boxable, if they'll become part of that company. It says they're going to merge, so they may not have the name. Okay, so that special purpose acquisition company, also known as a blank check company, is a publicly traded entity formed to raise capital through an initial public offering, IPO, right? And so, we got more people. Let's get it. The chat, if y'all got something to say, let me know. In this case, the SPAC involved raised $80 million in its IPO, which is available to support the proposed transaction. All right. So now, under the terms of the letter of intent, I think LOI, is that what that means? I think it's up here somewhere. Letter of intent, yeah, right here. All right, so it's not guaranteed. Under the terms of the letter of intent, and the SPAC would merge to become a combined entity. The proposed transaction contemplate that Boxable's existing equity holders would roll 100% of their equity into that public company. Completion of the transaction is subject to, among other matters, the completion of due diligence, the negotiation, okay, yada, yada, yada. Y'all can read that. All right, so it's not finalized right now. It's not legally binding, is what they're saying right now. And then let me see. Okay. Okay, I don't think we need all of that. Just understand that Boxable is looking to merge in order to become a publicly traded company. I thought they were going to go public on their own. And I think that was the original intent. Now it looks like they're looking to merge. All right, so now that we got the latest and greatest news, because every other article on here seems like it's older. Yeah, they're in sequential order. So if you wanted to look at the news, just go to their page and click what I clicked, and you can see. Look, they debut. It is a Francais word. Debut. They debuted the, what is this one called? The tiny home or something like that. The mini box, something like that, for 1999. This one's like 200 baby box. There it is. It's like 261 square foot or square feet. But I will tell you this: people would laugh at this, but you know what? It's going to be the future, and when it is, and people are buying these left and right, there's already 190,000 people waiting to get one because they make about 8 a day, says this call that we're about to watch. People aren't going to be laughing anymore. They're not going to be laughing. The hee hee ha ha is going to stop. So let's start this, and I'm going to try to do minimal pausing. But hey, let me go back. Hey, listen, if you don't have a notebook, pen and paper, you're doing yourself a disservice, because if you're looking at this as an investment opportunity, you need to take notes and be excited and be involved in the business of a company that you, and maybe you're waiting until it IPOs and see how it does and become an investor later. Fine. That's fine. But you still need to follow the news on it. We follow the news of our favorite basketball teams. I bet you all know who's in the finals. Who is it? Indiana and OKC. I go to the gym every morning. I see it. I see highlights up there. I couldn't tell you any of the players' names though. Actually, I did a video on one of them. No, Towns is on the Knicks and they lost. I don't know. I don't know. You see what? And I don't care. I don't even care. It's entertainment. It's not putting any money in my pocket, albeit you can do gambling on Robinhood. Gambling has even more considerable risks than investment. I'm not licensed on gambling. I don't think anybody is. I don't know, but I'm not telling you to do that. Let's get into this. But take notes, folks. I'll pause this on some major stuff, and I may talk about. I'll get to the point though.
This call will be primarily focused on December 2024 performance. However, since this is the very first call that I am doing, I would like to also speak about the history of the company and the Q1 2025 that we recently filed. The reason is that I think that it will help you to better understand our current performance. When we speak about Boxable, we typically have a hot topic, which is revenue. Most of our stakeholders, they're asking about the revenue, if it is a slowdown or if we are going to ramp up revenue. The reality of the company is that we have been around since 2017, and we invest the first years of the company developing a product, which is today our Casita product. It's a studio house with 361 square feet, coming with a full kitchen, full bathroom, appliances on it, but which is really important, it falls for cost-effective shipping solution. In terms of revenue, the company saw the first big contract in 2021 for more than 150 units going to Guantanamo Bay, Cuba, in a military-related contract. This was a very important milestone to the company, not only because we were able to prove the concept of folding houses, put them in a truck, and from Florida in a ship to Cuba, but also because we were able to see a lot of feedback from the users of those houses that they were actually in a very aggressive environment in terms of weather. It's the Caribbean basin with a lot of humidity and also salty weather. With all that information, we spent the following years improving our product, making it better. But the product is important to understand is built to be sold in US under the modular housing codification or legislation. In US, typically the traditional construction is a stick frame. That construction is inspected and approved on site. And then modular housing is a different concept where inspection occurs in our factory. In the States, you have 11 states that they still use the same format of traditional and they approve on site, even though if it is modular built on a factory. And there is the remaining of the states that they have some sort of modular housing legislation. They are different from one state to the next one, making the process very, very complex. It is very important to mention here that since the very beginning of the company, we got a lot of attention from different customers or potential customers. We have more than 180,000 people coming online in our website and dropping their name, showing interest in our product. Most of these people is coming from a state like California, Texas, Florida, New York. There is states that, yes, you can sell a house without the legislation approval because they approve on site. As I said, there are 11 states like those. But the reality, the demand is not coming from those, but from places like California. So the fact that this year we were approving California was very, very important. But let's talk about the numbers. So 2024 revenue was $3.4 million, which is a 10x from prior year. As of today, Q1 2025, we have more than 200 houses under contract. That means houses that we're going to be selling in the future. We're going to be delivering and recognizing the revenue for those houses here shortly. Another big topic that we have in the company is the cash position of the company. As of December 2024, we report that the net cash used in operation was $38.4 million, giving us a burning rate slightly ahead of $3 million. Also, in 2024, we reopened our Reg A, which was primarily on the second half of 2024.
Okay, so let's go over chat. If you have anything, let me know. We went over this last week, this first little piece that's like within the first 10 minutes. So I'm not going to spend very long on it, but a couple key takeaways. The company was established in 2017. That's a fact. Their most prominent product, popular product is the Casita, which features 361 square feet. Now, you may think, well, I can't live in nothing like that. Well, if you think about most major metropolitan cities, most people are living in apartments that may be that size or maybe bigger than that, 1,000 feet or less, and they're paying triple, quadruple, 5 times what they would pay for this. Now, yes, the problem is you would still need some land to put it on. But with the land, it'll probably have a lot rent. It probably will be something, look like something like manufactured homes, like a double wide, single wide, triple wide, stuff like that, because some of those were people's housing solution, right? They were cheaper than having a regular home. The problem with that is once you pay that house off, you will still have the lot rent. And the person charging for the lot rent, if the lot rent plus your mortgage, the lot rent plus your mortgage, especially here in California, could almost be as much as a regular standalone home. So you're probably thinking, well, it's only $200 cheaper, $400 cheaper, and it's not even real wood and stuff like that. So I might as well get a regular home. Okay, I can't argue with you there, to each his own. But the casita is about $60,000. The baby box is about $20,000. And if you could own these things outright, and let's say your lot rent is $500 a month, and your mortgage is $500 a month, okay, you pay $12,000 a year, thousand grand, thousand, one, yeah, 1K per month. Um, I'd say that that's a lot better than paying 4,100, 5,200, 6,000 a month for a standalone home, especially if you're young, right? If you are between 18 and like 25, especially if you're single, or even if you're a married couple starting out, what's wrong with living in a casita? Are you doing it for the vine? Are you trying to show off where most people ain't showing off their apartments anyway? And they have this stupid, I call it stupid, TBP. No one's gonna see where I live, but everyone's gonna see what I drive. I don't know if they sound like that, but even the girls. But I can't say this because they'll know who I'm talking about. But put it this way: if you're on that $37,000 salary and you're driving in any kind of upscale vehicle, I'm talking Lexus, I'm talking Beamer, I'm talking Mercedes. Those are middle class cars. Why are you in the poor class with your earnings, where the average earner is, trying to drive middle class vehicles? I had a mentee tell me that he was considering a Tesla, and he's very shapeable and moldable. He's 22 and very, very bright guy. He is going to go places. And I just simply ask him, hey, dude, I drive a Tesla. I have a standalone home with solar panels on the roof making power. So I have a home charger. Where are you going to charge it? You're in an apartment. Do they have a charger? So how are you going to charge this thing? You're going to go to superchargers every day? Well, it's going to deaden your battery to supercharge it all the time. And also, that's not a common man's car. That's a middle class car. And when I got a middle class car, I was 36 almost when I bought that car. I'm an average dude. Well, not average earning anymore, but I'm older, right? I shouldn't be average earning now. I'm 39 now, right? But I worked my way up. You shouldn't be doing that kind of stuff. So you should, and I guess I said all that to say this: if you're embarrassed by living in something like that, who cares? Who cares? I tell you what you won't be embarrassed by: the amount of money you're going to save and the amount of money that you can invest. If you live in something like this, if I could go back and I could live in something like this, the amount of debt I was in, I would be relieved. My barracks room was probably smaller than that. And I lived in that barracks room for like a year and a half before I moved out into a home where I was splitting rent, right? And the rent I was splitting would probably, with the utilities and stuff, would probably cost me about as much as that casita. But I tell you what, if I could own it, I would have chosen that. Because I could have brought it to California from Florida with me when I left. You see what I'm saying? So if you're embarrassed by stuff anyway, let's move on. Guantanamo Bay in 2021, I believe he said they got a military contract and they took feedback from the military. So, we lost somebody. We had military contracts, and they took feedback from that and made it even better. Listen, he said California, Florida, Texas, New York. If you don't know about those states have huge, huge populations. They're huge states when it comes to voting, right? And political ties, right? Because they have a lot of delegates. And so if you're not putting two and two together, I don't know what to tell you. Well, I'm telling you right now. Think about that. California has, I believe, the most delegates in the House. Texas is a huge state with a lot of delegates as well. And landmass wise, huge state. There's still a lot of parts of Texas that are not, they're not living in. Desert, right? Populated. There we go. Um, and in Florida, a lot of people from New York and California are moving to Texas and Florida because of the cost of living. Let's keep this rolling. Chat, y'all don't have anything? Nope. All right, let's keep this rolling.
And we managed to raise $14.5 million, closing the year with a liquidity of $21.7 million between our cash account, bank accounts, and treasury notes. In 2025, we continue to raise through Q1, and we actually report in our 10Q that we raised an additional $13.7 million only in Q1. Now, let's talk about the proceeds of those investment and where we are actually investing in the company. Early on the stage of the company, as I said, we had a huge demand. We are in an industry that everybody understands is on crisis. Basically, I believe that right now we have about 5 million houses missing in US only, and that is without thinking globally. So under these circumstances, all the efforts that the company had at early stages of the company, they were primarily directed to two areas: R&D, to keep having a product that it is better quality, safer, is going to be available faster, and is actually cost-effective solution. And the other big, I would say, stream that we have was investing on capacity. Right now we have 421,000 square feet in Las Vegas with a production line that is able to produce 3,000 units per year, but also having a spare space to be adding more production as needed with new products that we are going to talk in a couple of minutes about. What happened is after the approval in California, New Mexico, Nevada, we realized that the challenge, in addition to the production line, was also coming from the permitting process, which is a very difficult process. On one hand, it's a barrier for competition, but on the other hand, the reality is we need to invest a lot of time and resources. So we actually built an in-house permitting a lot of our customers that we call them in B2C is people that they are willing to have a unit as an ADU or an additional housing and an additional piece of land that they have. But these customers that they are, I will say, business to customers, they go through a dealer. A dealer is a contractor which is licensed in one of the states that we are selling, and he came to our company and we actually train them and approve them. So they are approved dealers. Initially, when we got the approvals, we quickly realized that our network was not very reliable. And again, all of this happened early in 2025. So we put a lot of effort in order to get more dealers. Right now, as we speak, we have more than 80 approved dealers in the states that we can sell, which is really, really important milestone. Another important milestone is a lot of the customers that they were willing to buy a house, they were needing a finance solution. They were needing financing. So the company partnered during 2024 and early 2025 with several partners. For example, Access Bank. So now we have more than 4 different partners that the customers, they can easily go and get a mortgage or a personal loan, but get a financing solution fairly quickly, and is helping them to move forward into the process. The last big challenge that we have into 2025, in addition to the dealer, the financing and regulatory, is talent. As the company is growing, we need to add talent and we need to bring the right people. I'm very proud to say that the company had a big investment done into compliance and reporting. So our finance team was upskilled with a very experienced controller. We now have a good manager for legal, to the point that in July 2024, we actually filed an AK where we reported that we closed a number of inquiries that we were receiving from SEC, which was actually also another very good milestone for the company, because the SEC closed investigations without any impact to the company. In terms of talent also, we really want to streamline the B2C purchasing process for our customers. We really would like to see is that people is able to buy a house online with no surprises in terms of the cost and in a very easy process. So we recently add more talent in our web development department that will result in an improved user experience when the people is using our website. In sales, we have a big opportunity in very many different verticals that we can actually go to market with Casita, which are the verticals.
All right, let's stop it right there. I thought he was gonna pause for a second. Put me back on camera. Yes. Sorry for yelling in your ear, but no, I'm not. Yes, I am, but this is just me. I'm on a 10 all the time. All right, so listen, let's go over some key points right here. I'll get right to the point and let him speak again, because now we're at the 10-minute mark, and this is probably around where we left off before. So I'm gonna just point out these hot takes for you, right? He said in 2025, they had $13.7 million raised in quarter one. I'm going to show you step by step by step. If you continue to follow the Blacksmith podcast, this is going to be one of the companies that we are going to follow almost from its inception on. Now, I know we missed the inception in 2017, but we caught it before it IPO'd. So we are going to follow Boxable. Robinhood already at IPO by the time I started this podcast. They were already around since 2021 IPO wise, right? But we're following Robinhood news and we're walking that down, right? If you follow the Blacksmith podcast, we are going to follow this company and we are going to walk through every step of the way on how this company is going to do. So $13.7 million raised in just Q1. That is great for a private company. Their expenses are low. He's telling you that, but they raised 13.7 million. So they have cash on hand. And honestly, that's something that we don't talk about when it comes to companies enough. We talk about Nike being a good company, but do we really know that Nike's a good company? Are they in debt, or what's their profit margin? Do they have cash on hand? They have cash on hand. That's what he's telling you. That's important. Now, moving on to the next one. He said the U.S. has a 5 million home deficit, right? Why did he say that? Why did he say that? Anybody? I'll tell you, because he's trying to show you there's a market for what they're doing. First of all, there's a use case for what they're doing. It's a house. There's always a use case for a house, right? It's a modular home that can fold, which means, and it has wheels, so it's easily portable, right? So there's a utility behind it. Now there's also a market behind it. He's telling you that. And he also told you, and the website shows you by showing you this. More than 190,000 casita reservations, and they only pump out 3,000 a year. What does that mean? There are people chomping at the bit to get to this. So he's showing you the use case, the market. Now moving on. I just said the 3K a year, so I hit my last point. He said permits. Permits are a problem for the states that are interested. And remember, he named off some big states. Let me write those down. That'd be NY, New York, FL, Florida, TX, Texas, the Lone Star State. And what was the other one? Let me think. New York, Florida. Did I say Florida? New York, Florida, Texas, California, the one I'm in. All right. So permits, and they launched a department to deal with it. We got a question in the chat, baby. Yeah. See, look, chat was already on it. There's a demand. See, the chat is undefeated. And here it is. Oh, thank you for the happy belated birthday. I appreciate it. Much love, much love. And then, yes, the affordability is a big one. So the chat's on it, and there's a demand for it. All right, we got Monsieur Ramza. Are they at all affected by the tariffs, or are they fully built in parts manufactured piece by piece in the States? Let me write that down for something, and we'll look out for him. we'll look out for if he says that or not. Because this call was, I think he did this call in December, maybe. And if that's the case, the tariffs weren't in effect yet. So I don't know. But I will say this. They could be, let me get rid of this so y'all can see my face. Look in my eyes. Okay. So he told you they have a factory in he told you they have a factory in Arizona, right? And they have more land. And he said the square footage of the factory, I just can't remember, something 100,000 square feet. And they have more land. And so I think they own this land. They probably purchased it with the millions of dollars that they had raised, right? That's one of the things they're using their money for. I can guarantee it. And I know they're using their money to expand the factory. And that's what he said, right? They're expanding the factory. So they're manufacturing the homes here in America. I can answer that one. However, it could be like Tesla, who is it's in California. I don't want to get it wrong. Santa something. I might be wrong on that. But they're based, it's not Santa Barbara. They're based out of California, and their cars are all manufactured in the US, but there are parts for the Teslas that they use that are manufactured overseas. So even Teslas are affected by the tariffs, but 100% of their cars are manufactured as in put together and then dealed in the US, but some of the parts are coming from overseas. How many? I don't know, but they're the only company automotive-wise that manufactures 100% of their cars as in making them and putting them together in the US. But that's a great question. We'll see if he answers that. Sounds like we're taking notes. I love it. You will need land for it. He mentioned that. Let's see if he goes into more detail about that. 80 approved dealers. Why is that a big deal? I'll tell you. Because Nissan is from Japan, right? Toyota's from Japan, Honda's from Japan, but they have dealerships all in America. What are we talking about, chat? Oh, that's the laugh emoji. Okay. Well, you were looking at my eyes. They have dealers all over the place, approved dealers. Why is that important? Because now you don't have to go all the way inward to Kentucky to the one Ford dealership in America. There's Ford dealerships all over every state, right? You don't have to go. I don't know why I chose Kentucky. Ford's not from Kentucky. I don't know where they're originally from, actually. I know they're from the US. I just don't know what state. Let's deal with GM. GM is based out of Detroit, Michigan. So you don't have to go all the way to Detroit to get you a General Motors product. Me personally over here, I don't buy American made. That's just me. I've seen too many problems, and we worry about the cost. We worry about making money over putting out a better product. And I don't want my car to always be in the shop. That's just my opinion. You might buy American made. Do you? There's a Honda and 2 Toyotas out front. The Tesla's in the shop. Anyway, so then they talked about financing. They partnered with some banks, and he said the name of one. I think it was Axis or Axel, AXOL, I believe it was. Chat, correct me if I'm wrong here. I think it was Axel Bank or something like that. But they're telling you what bank. So if they're publicly traded and they're doing a deal with these guys, they have contract. They're going to have a pipeline straight to that bank. They're telling you that company might blow up as well. So now if you look at their stock might be poised to jump up because they're partnering with them. So they have financing solutions. So you don't have to, if you're average earning at 37,000, you won't have 60 grand, chances are, cash money to buy a casita. You won't have $19,000 cash money to buy a baby box, but you can finance it. And you don't finance a $60,000. You don't just cash money buy a $60,000 car. You finance it. You don't cash buy a $20,000 car. You finance it. So they have financing options. Big, big, big news here. Talent. They brought legal in that took on the SEC. and adjudicated all these questions and claims and all this kind of stuff. Um, and then for the cost, they're trying to be fully transparent with what these things cost. No surprise costing. So like no surprise costs. So if you go on Redfin and look up a house, that house might say $500,000. But when you go to buy the house, surprise, surprise, you better do the calculator first of all, because there's going to be interest rate on that house. And that interest rate you get is going to not only affect your monthly payment, it's also going to affect your full price of the house after taxes, just like a car or just like a bottle of water. If you buy it from the store, it's not $1, it's not 99 cents, it's $1.08. You know what I mean? So if you only came with 99 cents, surprise, sales tax, same thing. So now it's not 500,000, it's 703,000, with your APR, the interest rate, and there are closing costs and title costs, escrow and all that stuff. If you never bought a house, surprise, surprise, there are other costs associated with it. Plus insurance. Yes. Sucks if you don't live in Delaware. Boo. Florida doesn't have a state tax. Some states don't have state tax. Some states don't have income tax, I think. But hey, listen, everybody can't live in Delaware. Delaware is only so big. Everybody can't live in Florida. That's where my home of record is. So like I live in California, but I'm active duty. So I pay Florida state tax. Oh, no, I don't, because they don't have one. So anyway, but as soon as I retire from the Navi, I will have to register in the state that I live in. So, all right, let's get back to it, because let's get past this 10-minute mark. He's saying some real stuff. Take notes.
Can be a workforce accommodation, can be hospitality, glamping, emergency response, homeless, can be 722 square feet with one bed or two beds.
Not Delaware, only for California. Aw, dang. Sorry, I gotta pause it there. I was muted. I see some comments. You better not be talking about no Delaware stuff. Here we go. I can't hear you now. I can hear you. Yeah. Sorry. I was muted. So all the ambient noise or all that kind of stuff didn't come through. Listen, we didn't get far down the road. He said a lot. I tried to pause it at a good spot, but he doesn't leave much room in between sentences and whatnot. He doesn't take big pauses. It's like he's mastered not leaving room in between what he says, because maybe he's in a room with a lot of fast talking people that are already talking the moment you pause. So that's how he speaks. I've been trying to get it, but I started in a spot where he talked about their focus being for homeless people as a solution. Stop right there. Why is that important? He said California, Florida. There are a lot of homeless folks. Even in New York, when I was there, I saw homeless folks, especially in the city, which is crazy because Manhattan is much colder than Long Island. It's right there on the Hudson in the Atlantic. Homeless crisis in California. Let's talk about it. They have one of the places with, oh, wait, you can only hear him when you could hear me. Oh, so I can't mute the mic. All right, that's what it was. I can't mute the mic. I'm gonna tell you what he said. So now I learned my lesson. I didn't realize the sound from my speaker wasn't coming through to y'all. It's the sound from my speaker reverberating into my microphone, so I can't mute myself. I'm glad you said that. See, the chat's undefeated. Okay, so basically what he pointed out was homeless crisis. This could solve the homeless crisis. So now he's talking about the use case for this again, or the market. San Diego has a huge homeless population in downtown. Shoot, I see some homeless folks here an hour north. It's an hour and 10 minutes north of San Diego County. We're talking about San Diego County. San Diego County is massive. But San Diego, the city, is not that big. But San Diego County has a crazy homeless crisis. El Cajon, where I used to live for 8 years, the other side, homeless people everywhere. If you could have casitas, then everybody could have their little box or baby box. That's they're the $20,000 option, right? You ain't got to give them luxury. $20,000, they get a toilet, they get a bed, they get a kitchen, they get a table, they get a couch, they get a washer, dryer, a full-size fridge. They can go back to their home. Now, if you built a community, they're living there, not in squalor, in tents and crapping on the sides of the road. They have a toilet. And I'm sorry to get graphic, but that's what happens, right? And this is why people avoid it, because it smells bad. They get a shower, right? And they're hooked up. And so they're hooked up to water, and they have sources of clean drinking water and stuff. This could solve, if they get a contract with some counties, some cities, mayors and governors, they could really solve some of this homeless crisis problem for cheap. And college, he talked about college housing. And it'd be more affordable for colleges sometimes, because sometimes they have dilapidated kind of barracksy, kind of, what am I trying to say, like hotel like style apartments or whatever, and they need to tear them down and build something new. Maybe this could be a better option. And he said, and I'm going to skip, he said developers, they have a rackable, stackable, the casitas can rack and stack. So you can make those, you could take it from a 2-bedroom, and this is the part, when I came on the mic, I said not Delaware. He said they have the studio version, 1 bedroom, and a 2-bedroom that's only available in California. And I unpaused it to talk about Delaware because you said sucks that everybody, you know who I'm talking to. That's one of my brothers. So He said the developers are getting these stackable units because they can do more with it than a single person could. A single person, a single buyer, he wants them to take homes off their production line. I talked about this in a video I did last week that the upscale version of Tesla, in my opinion, because the lead developer went and developed that company, Lucid, the luxury electric car, they have a big problem because the cars that are rolling off their production line are not being bought. Why? Because they're allowing every customer to go on there and personalize their car. So they have a huge stock of cars that came off the production line that are like every other car not being sold. They are getting ahead of that problem right there. That's why he said that. Most people, the average person, are going to buy off the production line. The developers are going to be able to, because think about why. They're developers. So they're going to get a piece of land to work with to build communities. So if they are able to rack and stack 3, 4, 5 bedrooms and get 800, 1,200, 1,500 square feet of boxable home, they'll be able to do that because they have the land to work with. So he's already getting ahead of that problem with their product not moving. Um, he said glamping contracts. There are 2 glamping contracts out with 2 companies, and they have 150 units that they've approved. I don't know what glamping is, so during the break, I'm going to look that up unless somebody in the chat wants to tell me. And the baby box, they made it not to the housing code, they made it to the RV code because it's the one with the wheels. The casita doesn't have it. The baby box has the wheels, so you can pack it up, fold it up, and move it. And so the baby box is the $20,000 option. Glamour camping. Oh, okay. No, not you. You said clamping, or is that glamping? Glamour camping. Okay, got you. That's what it is. Glamour camping. Well, there's 2 companies right now. Thank you. I appreciate that. H to the Izzo. I'm just kidding. There are 2 glamour camping companies that have contracts with Boxable for 150 units, which means they also have land, which means they're probably going to do something like an Airbnb location or locations where you can go and do glamour camping. And it is glamour. I mean, it's got modern stuff in there, right? Um, okay. Also, that was it. That's what we missed. Let's get back to it.
Addition product that we are releasing is a shell product. A shell product, it is not built to code, it's not on wheels, and basically it's a shell. And this is the result of a lot of inquiries from the government that they are looking solution for homeless. Typically, cities will do sleepers for homeless or sleepers for emergency response first wave. That is a temporary accommodation and it does not need a permitting. So as well as baby box, you don't need a permitting approval. In the case of this shell product, you will not need any permitting approval, which is very important. Also, this product is suitable for retail. So we are thinking of introduce the product into retailers to resell the product as a shell. Competition for many other companies that you guys are able to see outside. But this is having as a competitive advantage that the product is finished. You have flooring, lighting, is finished, ready to move in. The last product that I want to speak is a smart home solution for Boxable. Boxable took the first steps on a home smart solution that will incorporate later on AI. We strongly believe that this is going to be also a change in the game because today there is no built-in home smart solution for housing. What you need to do if you want to have a home smart solution, you will have different providers of your functions, let's say the lighting, the music, the security camera, and then you will need to find a third provider to actually put a solution to sync all these different other solutions that you have. So basically, it's a hybrid solution. What we want to build It's a built-in solution that will enhance the experience of living in the house, and later on will also give us the chance to, through the data capture, came out with solution that will translate in a better insurance, a better home smart solution, and many other vertical integrations that we see coming from there. Coming back to the financials, I think there is an impact that is
All right, hold on. Before we get to the financials, we are not getting far down the road at all, and we're already at an hour. This one's going to go a little long. Y'all bear with me. If you want to punch out, that's fine. I'm going to put it up on. Oh, he said all the RV companies are based out of Indiana. Oh, all of those RV companies based out of Indiana may want in on this. Yeah. But you know what? A lot of these companies are going to do? They are going to wait until this company IPOs or gets closer to merging. So they know that this company, they're going to wait until they get those. What was it, like 50 patents, 53 patents filled or filings? I'm sorry. They're going to wait until all of those get approved. I don't know if these are already approved or not. They're going to wait until trademarks and all that kind of stuff is done. And they're going to wait to see how much money they raise in all of their seed rounds, if the merger goes through, and if the company, if it's just a tree trunk, or if it has roots that's going to hold it up in case something happens, right? How sturdy and stable is this company before they invest, more than likely? Now, the reason why I wanted to pause this before he gets back into the financials, he said a lot. He said that, hold on, insurance will have to cover these as well. Yes, he mentioned insurance too. But he mentioned something real big at the end. And I'm going to get to it in a second, but he said they are making a shell product, right? And I don't know if they're doing cut editing or if this guy just talks like this. It seems like he just talks like this, and you got to be real quick, itchy on the pause, the space bar pause, not pause like joking, haha. Anyway, he said the shell product is not up to code, but you don't need something up to code for homeless people or for sleepers for like emergency response. That's a temporary home housing solution. So that makes even more sense because then they don't have to spend more money on permits. So that saves them money there. Then let's move past that. We already talked about filling that crisis. He also said retailers can sell the shells. So that means retailers might be able to also put something else or their logos on it and sell it because it's just a shell. So on top, why is all of this important? So on top of their production line making Boxable products, right, with their logo, their trademarks, their patents, and all that stuff, and most people buying that, the developers are going to get the rackable, stackable ones to build tiny home communities. So over here, most people, over here, developers, over here, they're also going to make shells that other retailers can put their spin on and sell. They're being held up because they're smart. He said they're bringing in talent. Listen, if you're going to follow a company and be an investor in a company, even a possible investor, a future investor, I'm telling you, this is how deep you have to dig into the financials and understand everything they're saying has meaning behind it. And people who are experienced in investing are going to pick up on this stuff. So I'm teaching you step by step why you should be concerned, enamored, interested in every word this guy is saying. Don't just be swayed by his accent. All right. And because he's smooth with it. He's losing his hair. I'm sure he was a smooth daddy back in the day. All right. So look. Smart home. This is the last thing. Now, he mentioned insurance, and you mentioned that in the chat too, but I'm going to skip past that. Let's talk about the smart home. He said they're using AI. What does that tell you, folks? Well, I told you AI was the future. SoundHound AI is one of the companies I'm always championing over here, right? I have like 8 leaps on or 2-year contracts on SoundHound AI right now, and I'm also a long-term investor. I have shares in it. Who are they going to partner with for their AI? Let's see if he talks about that, because he wants to talk about financials. Before we get to that, the biggest piece of this, he wants to make a smart home that can turn on lights, that can play music, and he mentioned something else, but I'm a slow writer, so I missed it. So who are they going to partner with for AI? Anything this guy says that they're going to do, you need to be thinking, who is it coming from? Because they can't do it all, though he did talk about hiring talent. Well, talent, he's talking about people with degrees and experience with those degrees and certifications in using them. But they're going to probably have to partner with a company for the AI. Is that the company they're merging with, or is that going to be another company? So we have people buying homes, developers buying them, shells. Now they want to introduce AI, which probably won't be in the shells, but the AI will probably be in these. So they're going to different. That listen, I'm telling you, the roots in this company are getting deeper and deeper as we're talking, and they have more roots to be held up. So that's one that I wanted to put out there. I'm going to pay attention to SoundHound AI, because if you remember, SoundHound AI, they do voice AI. So assistants for phones, for cars. They talked about, I think it was Lucid. They did a deal with them in January for being the, hey, Lucid assistant or whatever, or what's the thing's name? Siri for the iPhone. I'm not saying they did Siri, but any of those helper AIs, this could be them. Pay attention. The Blacksmith.
Going to take your attention, it is a $12.4 million impairment that we took in a contract with them. It is there.
All right, I'm backing it up a little bit.
I think there is an impact that is going to take your attention. It is a $12.4 million impairment that we took in a contract with a vendor for equipment that we were buying to add automation into our factory. We don't see any impact on production in terms of the operation, but certainly there is a financial impact. We file a claim in April 2024, a legal claim that we will pursue. And the last comment is that the company continues to be debt-free as of Q1 2025. Also, the company continues to have the same mission. We have a product that it is high quality, is cost-effective, is safer, and is done faster. So we are here to drive a revolution in the housing industry, and it's starting to show the early stage on the revenue side. We will continue to work hard in order to deliver every single milestone and exceed the expectations. I will open for questions, and thank you for your time.
Oh, shoot. Oh, shoot. All right, let me see. The video's still going. Let me stand up. I'm in my comfy chair. All right, so listen. The video's still going. Uh-oh. He said he's going to take questions, so let's see. Uh-oh, they camming up. Let's go.
All right. Hello, guys. Thank you again for your time and for joining the call. I think I have several questions about the same subjects.
I'm sorry. Before he gets to the question, let me say this real quick. So they're being fully transparent. So some companies are pretty freaking nebulous. Let me please make sure to upload these full sessions on YouTube. Always do. Always do. You got it, my man. Always do. As soon as actually, here's the process since you said that. Here's the process, because there's a lot of people in the chat that 10 a.m. on a Saturday is probably not good for. I know one of my guys, his daughters have soccer practice or whatever. That's fine. Sometimes he's in the live, sometimes he's not, because he's got family stuff. This is the process. So as soon as I end this live, y'all see it on Discord. So I'll end the recording on OBS. Then it takes a second for it to be available. I'll end the live on Discord. I'll close out those windows. I go to file. I do show recording. I drag that recording into my my hard drive for the Blacksmith podcast, and I name it, right? I immediately name it before I drag it. Then I go on YouTube. I open my Blacksmith podcast window. It's got all my windows up. I just close it and open it with all my tabs. and I do create upload. I upload that video. I start naming it. I use some AI to help me name it so it'll trigger in the algorithm, though no one likes to watch long form content. I need somebody that could probably help me chop these videos up into smaller segments. I may have to end up doing it myself, whatever. But so I put chapters on it. I just upload it as soon as it's done. It takes a couple minutes to do, like 13 minutes, 12 minutes ish, to do an hour-long video and process it and make sure there's no copyright. But I do it right after I end the video. Within 15 minutes, usually it's up and live on YouTube. You should get the notification. I can put them in the chat if you're not getting them. Or if you know this is content you like, want, or need, just go to the podcast and look at the Discord playlist. They're there. Anyway, so he's being fully transparent. So there's some companies that come in there trying to hide cards in their sleeve and trying not to be fully transparent. This guy literally told you they took a $12 million. Make sure them notification bells are on. Thank you, my man. This guy told you they took a $12 million hit because of a faulty vendor. He didn't say what the problem was, but he said a vendor basically made them take a $12 million hit. So, but he assures you later by saying, but we are debt free, which means this company is not in debt. A lot of the companies that you guys would say are good companies are in debt. He's saying we are debt free. We got cash on hand, but it's not like it wasn't. And he said it has not interrupted our production line, but it is a $12 million hit. So he's being fully transparent, telling you, yes, it's a hit. However, over the top, production line's going. We still got cash on hand. We are still debt free. And there is a lawsuit. And we're in legals. My legal, what did he say? And sorry, Miss Jackson, my lawyers, stay down. In the first verse, their lawyers are on it. And he told you they brought in, I can't remember the verse, but he said, you're going to rip me up, start a legal war or something, a custody war or something. My lawyers, stay down. All right, so look, their lawyers stay down. Whatever that means in Georgia, you know what that means. That means they're on deck. They're ready to go. They got a lawsuit ready to go that already is in play. So they're probably going to win it. If I don't know that. Let me take that back. I don't know. But he said we're looking to revolutionize the housing market. They're not here to play games. They're not here to tiptoe. You know, the way an invention comes in, you see a need and you work to fill that need. They are solving problems. He told you what they're building. He told you the utility and the use case behind it. He told you what hole there is in society that they can fill, and the point behind in the market. And he showed you there was a market for it too. They're telling you everything. You just got to pay attention. Now I'm going to sit back down because I was comfortable, and let's hear him take some questions. Chat, y'all got something? What you say? This was, yep. Make sure them notification bells are turned on. And from time to time, peruse that and make sure the notification bell is on, because YouTube was turning off people's notification bells and unsubscribing people. Make sure TBP is part of your subscribees. I tried to make it rhyme. I don't have bars.
First one is about the state's approvals. As I said in the call, basically we are approved in 4 states right now. It's Arizona, New Mexico, California, and Nevada. There is 11 states that you don't request an approval. Those are approved on site, like Oklahoma, Utah, West Virginia, Vermont. And we're actually right now in the process to get the approvals in Texas, South Carolina, and Colorado. Typically, the company, what we do is we follow the opportunities. So when we see, a volume of demand that is explaining the need of having that approval in that state, is where we actually kick off the process. Basically, our objective is to get approval in every single state. And that goes, for example, for Puerto Rico, somebody's asking, we're not there yet, but also somebody else was asking on Texas. And in the case of Texas, we're well advanced. We have a contract with a very important developer in Texas that we want to deliver as soon as possible, and we're in the process. There is also a lot of questions about the way.
Look, I'm sorry. Hold on. Let me stand back up for this one. All right, look. I don't think he's done with question one. Listen, listen, folks, take notes. He said they're already approved. You can't see my notebook, but I'm gonna read from the notebook. All right, because that was a lot. The Notebook, great movie, chick flick. So he said they're already approved to in Arizona, California, New Mexico, and Nevada. One of the big things about three of these states, actually all four of them, have in common is parts of them or all of them are desert states. Okay. What do you know about desert states? A large, vast majority of those states are what am I trying to say? They're not I said the word earlier. They're not people don't live there. They're unpopulated. There we go. They're unpopulated. Why? Because they're desert states. How did towns and villages form way back in the day when people were tribal? They normally formed around what? A water source, right? So if you found a river, undeveloped, there you go, chat, undefeated. They normally formed around a river, a lake, a stream. There had to be some source of clean water to get to. Couldn't have been stagnant water because you get sick, get explosive diarrhea, vomiting. Diarrhea used to be a death sentence back in the day before modern medicine came around, right? Imodium and all kinds of things that could get the bacteria out of your body, right? And diarrhea was trying to get the stuff out of your body, but you need more fluids to replace what you're losing. I know this is kind of gruesome, but get what I'm saying? It all plays a part, right? There's some science in this too, right? So Arizona, California, especially Southern California, it's really a desert state. When you drive around, there's not a whole lot of green. There's green outside my window, which I will not be showing you my backyard. However, there's green outside here, but get what I'm saying. On the East Coast, when you drive up and down those highways, those trees are green. And if you're from the West Coast and you've never seen it because you're not from either Northern California, Oregon, or Washington State, you don't know what green looks like. You don't see forest green. You see like a faded green, like my shirt here. That's what the plant life. If the plant life when you drive look like the color of my shirt, you don't know what green looks like. And this is because it's faded glory. So they're approved in those four states, but get what I'm saying? That means there's more of a market. Again, market, because they're undeveloped and unpopulated. They got it. What does that tell you? They're going to be irrigating more of Arizona, Southern California, New Mexico, and Nevada. They have to bring irrigation. So they need pipes, right? They need, a company's going to have to give it to them. What company are they going to partner with to bring water from dams or clean water plants or whatever to tap into the groundwater, whatever? What company are they going to partner with to bring that water? You got to think. He said something about Oklahoma, Utah, and Vermont. I think they want them. And then they're already seeking approval for Texas, South Carolina, Colorado, PRDR, hold me down. Like, whoa. Shout out to Black Rob. Actually, he's dead. Rest in peace. PR is asking, PR, if you didn't know, Puerto Rico is an American territory. So they're Americans over there in PR. DR, hold me down. Like, whoa. But he said they have a huge contract with a developer in Texas already, right? So Texas, they got that oil money down there, man. They got that old money, and it's a cheap state, cost of living, right? The housing market is booming in Texas, but I still think there's a large part of Texas that is undeveloped, okay? So as he finishes question one, there are your notes. Fill in the blank. All right, chat. I'm going to leave it like this, chat, so in case you say something, I can see it right away.
Waiting list. Since the very beginning, obviously, we had a lot of attention from our customers, especially in terms of, interest on the product. So we have a list of people that they actually put their name in our website, which is about 180,000 people. Uh, After the approval process, we started to get feedback because obviously we started to reach this waiting list in the areas that were approved. Many of them, they are moving forward with our dealers. Others, they were asking, for the possibility of having a bigger product. Casita is 361 square feet. So specifically for California, we added the second box Casita, which is 722 square feet to accommodate that need. And also another big portion of the wishing list is what I will call uneducated buyers. Is a group of people that they didn't acknowledge the need of having a foundation, having the utility trenching into your property, do the land prep. So all the land preparation costs related with installation of the house. So consequently, that is why we came out with the solution of Baby Box, and Baby Box is getting a lot of traction.
Let's stop it right there. All right. I'm not standing up. This chair's too comfortable. Listen. All right. So, what did he just say there? If y'all weren't listening, the biggest thing he said right there was he talked about uneducated buyers. And I think he said it the most loving way possible. My brother asked this a lot. Both of two of the three are in the chat right now. And actually, no. One of the three. Anyway, he said uneducated buyers. The uneducated buyers did not understand that they needed land. They also needed a foundation in certain states. The better brother. Yeah. I couldn't remember his Discord name. So yeah, I couldn't remember. Anyway, I didn't agree with him, by the way. I was just acknowledging his comment. I didn't say he was the better brother. He said that. All right, uneducated buyers, he said, didn't know that they needed land, didn't know that they needed a foundation in certain states. California, you need a concrete foundation a lot of times because, earthquakes and stuff. You don't want it to shake your house loose because the ground underneath it has no foundation. Funny enough, the Bible even speaks about this. You don't have to be Christian to understand. Oh, he is here. That is him. He said, yep, the better brother is here. He is in there. I thought that was his name. Anyway, you don't have to be a Christian to understand the Bible and what it talks about. It talks about building your house. And the analogy is actually talking about Christ and the church and Christianity. But he uses the analogy of building a house on the sand, that when the floods and the waters come and the rain comes, it can rinse that sand away, right? And so your house can fall apart because you built your house on shifty ground versus building your house on solid ground where when the earth quakes and shakes in the sands in the sandstorms, I guess, but no, when the rains come, it can't wash that ground. That ground is so hardly compacted that it does not rinse away like sand does, right? He talked about building your house on good, firm foundation kind of ground. Well, this is the same thing. Some states you need a foundation. And the third thing was utilities. He said there are costs involved in getting utilities in there. So he's telling you again, transparency. Yeah, the casita may cost you $60,000, but you still may have development costs, land and development costs, because if you want FiOS, fiber optics, that has to be dug into the ground and it has to be put in. You can't just, I lost somebody else. Dang, he said he was the better brother and the other one left. God dog. But anyway, if you want fiber optics or something like that, yeah, there's other costs involved in that. All right. So before he goes any further, I just wanted to say that. This guy, the better brother. Yeah, I forgot that was your name. All right, let's get it.
We will continue to work with.
Sorry, we're probably going to go another 10 minutes into this, and then I'll probably have to do a shorter video breakdown on this and do clips in smaller segments. I'll probably record it with Clipchamp or something and upload it to YouTube. Um, because this is gonna go past an hour, and I mean it already has an hour and 30. So I'm probably gonna have to do some editing on this, but just for argument's sake, we'll probably go 30 minutes halfway into this, and then I'll probably break this down later. All right.
The wishing list as we are getting approvals in the states from where this list is coming from, and we will continue to or selling a product available, developing new product to meet that demand, or actually selling the new product that we actually we are introducing, which is Baby Box, which is Sanctuary. Somebody was asking about where is the dealers. You can find a dealer list in our website, and you can see it by state, by city, so you can have all that information available there. A lot of questions about the Nasdaq ticket. As you may be aware, we cannot give any looking forward statement about the future of the company in terms of the next liquidity event, if any. The ticket is our hope, and we're working diligently to add more liquidity to the company. So that is one of the steps that what we took in that direction. And also for talking about liquidity, it's very important. There's people asking about investing in the company. We recently announced that we're going to close all the investing opportunities in June 24th. That goes for Reg D, Reg A, that goes for all the opportunities available. And this is also part of the process of finding opportunities for the company to get more liquidity. There is some questions about the usage of the proceeds that we get in terms of investments. Clearly, as I said at the beginning, early in the stage of the company, a lot of that went primarily focused on the capacity. We have 421,000 square feet here in Las Vegas with a production line available to ramp up operations. And later on, we're switching that effort more in talent as the company is growing, specifically on the permitting area, on the web development, on the finance and legal for compliance, and as well as getting more dealers for the ADU market. But also, as I said in the call, there is many verticals that we then pursue on the business to business, where we can get more sizable orders, and we are getting more sizable orders. So we also invest on the sales team, bringing more senior. We upskill the team to achieve those objectives. I'm following the same. I see a lot of questions about ramping up operations. Meaning production. This is a very sales focused organization right now. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to match our production with the demand when we're going to be delivering that demand. The reality is, I think that internally we were learning a lot of lessons, especially after we got the approval in California, because it's a big market for us. And we quickly realized that those customers, they were needing a reliable dealer. A dealer is an installer that it is trained by us, is licensed to do the land prep. And obviously, when you set your first network, you never used to that. So you quickly learn what you need to do to have the right network of installers on site. And basically that took us, I would say 60 to 90 days to start cleaning that network and having reliable installers. Right now we have about 80. But after we finished that, actually, we also realized that a lot of ADU, potential customers or any potential customer in California, they were asking a lot about financing. So parallel with the dealers, we were working on setting new partners to give financing tools to our customers. And right now we have about 4 to 5 finance partners offering mortgages or personal loans in order to be able to give that facility to our potential customers.
All right. He took a breath. I had to find it. I got it. I'm quick on the draw to him. Pow, pow! Fastest gun in the West. All right. So listen, he said a lot there. We got about 5 minutes to go, and then I'm going to have to cut this. Let's talk about what he just said. There's a lot. If y'all saw me, I was consistently writing, and it's not because I'm slow. I started shorthand and stuff, right? Baby box. He said the baby box is the solve for a lot of different solutions, and we'll just leave it there. He said somebody asked about the list of dealers. He said, go to the website, you'll find it there. Why did he leave that there? Y'all might have thought he was giving that person a cold shoulder. No, he's not. What he's saying is utilize, look at me. Get down here. Here we go. He didn't give him the cold shoulder. What he's saying is go to the website. Let's go to the website real quick. What does the website have on it? Well, it doesn't just have the dealers on it. This is the top of the website right here. What's the future of home construction? Look, latest news. That's where I click to find the link for the latest news, and it's in sequential order in terms of most recent to distant. All right. So if you scroll down, I don't know what this bell does. Okay. It's telling you right here at the top bar that stays here. You only got 10 and a half days left to invest in the company at 1,000 shares. $1,000 at 80 cents per. After that, if that merger goes through, they're going to get a new evaluation. It could go up to $20. It could go up to $12. Now you missed the train, right? I'm pretty sure it's going to go up, folks. I can't tell you. It's professional, but it's unlicensed opinion. It tells you how many reservations. So look, he's sending you to the website. Why? Because it has all this stuff. And look, this slider for start an investment stays on the screen no matter where you scroll. Now, people love videos, so look at what's happening right here. This embedded video, it plays by itself as you scroll or as you're looking at something else. So you get a look at them unfolding this thing and what's in it. Right? It shows the appliances, full-size fridge, a built-in stove, an installed stove, a built-in microwave. It shows the AC unit up there. It's showing you everything. Now, as you scroll down to look for what you asked for, right? The list of vendors, you see it's been on these websites or news outlets. Now you go down, it's showing you how you can learn more. What is an accredited investor? These are the ones that were historically able to invest in Boxable. These are the folks that are millionaires, right? Since they opened, look, they've built 600 houses. They show you a video you can click on. He's sending you to the website. He is very, very astute. And if this guy is the CFO, CEO, I'm telling you right now, this guy is smart. He's sending you to the website. Look, it has the whole timeline on here. And a list of let's see if we can pick out. Who is this guy? This is him right here, right? Martin Costas. I think this is him. He's the chief financial officer. This guy's smart. This guy is smart. You need somebody smart. And look at all these frequently asked questions that are already answered. Look at this. He's sending you to the website. That wasn't a cold shoulder. That was a business move. That was a money move. He's the CFO. Would only make sense. All right, we're going to scroll back to the top. Let's go back to this. But now I got some more notes. Hold on. 24 June, cutoff. Liquidity. He talked about liquidity. What's going to help liquidity is they're closing this out in 10 and a half days, and that new reevaluation is going to help. Merging and IPOing is going to help liquidity. They're ramping up production to meet the demand. There's a heavy, heavy demand for these. If they got 190,000 people waiting, they're ramping up I got one of the brothers back. They're ramping up production to meet the demand. They have more dealers right? They're ramping up more dealers, but he's assuring you he's not partnering with scam artists, right? He said they are licensed and trained by them on how to reliably install these as well. And then he said there's a large call for people in California for ADUs, additional dwelling units. So what does that mean? MG the Mortgage Guy, if you don't know who that is, he is on YouTube. Look him up. He's also from New York. I forget where he's from, but he's been in the real estate game for more than 20 years. He's licensed, MLS number. He'll say all of that. NMLS number. So he has one of those, of course. He's a realtor, real estate agent. He wrote a book called House Hackonomics, right? But I'll give you the short of it. If you own a home, you don't have to just live in the home and pay the mortgage. You can house hack your home and have other people living in or around your home to get the most production out of your own home. Your home could be paying you if you just have a little smarts about your home. So we have a home right here. If when the kids are old enough, we remove that swing set in that jungle gym. We take this concrete out here, which is part of the foundation. We could remove it or extend it all the way back. Put some plumbing in here, get rid of the sprinklers, all of that. We could put 2 or 3 of these units in the backyard as long as they have the piping, the sewage lines, water lines, electricity. They can get their own internet. Or we can get a Starlink thing out there or some Wi-Fi they can tap into. We could actually make money off of 2 or 3 rents in the backyard. ADUs. And we continue.
And they are all available online also in our excuse me, in our website. And all of this actually is adding time to deliver the house. You can actually go online and search any ADU company. Again, I'm talking about California right now, but in anywhere, it takes between 6 to 12 months until you are actually moving into the house. So we slow down production intentionally to not have a working capital that is pretty much in a trap. We want to have the company liquidity on the right place. So we are going to ramping up production as the delivery days are coming. So there is a lot of questions also in talent. I already said basically that we're investing in R&D, sales, permitting, and compliance. However, obviously, as the company continues to grow, you will see that we continues to post roles online. The reality is we're always looking for the best talent. We don't want to lose the opportunity to hire those superstars that we like to have. We like everybody to be outstanding. So we continue to refine and upskill the team as much as we can. There is people that they are asking where they can see the product. Obviously, we have a tour available in the factory that strongly recommend for all our investors to do it at least once. And the tour is getting better and better because now we can not only show you the casita, but we can also show you the 20 by 30 and the 20 by 40 setup that we have, plus baby. And also now is we have available a sanctuary product, right, to show. And we're already deploying units in different states. So we typically do announcements online when we have a contract that you can actually see where we're installing those. I don't know, I can remember Oklahoma City, we have in Utah, in Stillwater, we have incoming South Carolina, California, and so on. So those units are going to be out there. We will have a a team trying to get more and more digital data, so you can guys see what we're doing on the field.
I missed those states. Chats, where were they? Oklahoma, Utah, California. I think Utah was the second one.
So
Oh wait, he paused. Here we go. Now let me jump in here real quick. We got about 2 minutes left on this, and then I'm gonna cut this. Um, Before I forget, remember, reaction playlist is gonna come. So there's a lot of stuff in the news, and the reaction playlist might be a little more entertainment. Um, but there will always be education in anything that we do over here because I'm not singing, though I can carry a note. Yes, I can sing and I can sing well. We're not doing that. We're not singing, dancing. I can shoot a ball over the net. Too much time in the gym. I'm pretty athletic, but I'm not here to entertain you. I'm not here for that. I add in humor because I'm just a humorous person. That's just me. That's my personality. But um, we're always going to bring you good stuff over here. So the reaction channel, some of my brothers in the chat, they're going to be helping me with that. One of my good friends, he is normally here on Saturdays. He's not here right now. He might actually jump in a couple of those too, but like there's stuff going on in LA and all kinds of stuff, and we may jump in on that. But I'm going to tell you right now, uh, let me shift gears a little bit, and I'm going to shift right back. I've seen online all these protests in LA. I ain't even gonna get into it, but we gonna shift right back. All right, that was my shift gear sound. Anyway, 6 to 12 months before you're in a unit. He said that they slow production on purpose so that they are cash positive. But you know the benefit of them slowing production, what that also does? What is everything? What's the price of everything driven by? And I don't care where you're at in the world. What's the price of everything driven by? What's the rule? Supply and demand. If there's a high demand and a low supply, what could that do? Drive the price up, or it can validate why your prices are where they are. Okay. Talent hiring. They may have a hiring tab on their website. He talked about the website again. Let me tell you something. If you work in IT, cybersecurity, if you work in any kind of mechanical engineering or something, um, construction, you might want to be looking at financials, legal. You might be a paralegal, not even a lawyer. They may need you. They may be looking to hire you. He said talent, hiring talent. If that didn't trigger in your brain, ooh, that might be an opportunity for me, then you're not paying attention. You might be able to work for Boxable before they IPO to something else. However, when they IPO, he said they're hiring even though they're looking to merge, right? Now, typically in mergers, if you've ever been caught up in that, sometimes they will get rid of jobs. But if they're still hiring, that merger might also need the talent. Think about that, right? So there may be a work opportunity. I think I said earlier it was in Arizona where their factory is, and I'm pretty sure I'm wrong about that. I'm pretty sure it's in Nevada. It's in Vegas, and you can schedule to go see it when you're in. I'm pretty sure I said before it was in Vegas, but I think here I said it was in Arizona. It's in Vegas. Um, Also, he said they have 20 by 30s, 20 by 40s ups for people to do, and they always announce contracts whenever they do them. They're being fully transparent. Listen, folks, you're not going to find a better opportunity to invest in a private company.
Do you have an apartment to visit? Apartments we do not do yet, but the largest box is the 20 by 40 and the 20 by 30. They are engineered in a way that we can go up to 3 stories, and we can actually right now build apartments. The main reason that we are not selling that is we have a production line that we obviously want to use because we invest on it. That is having the casita generation, which is actually built with SIP panels, and that technology will remain for casita I would say, for the medium to long term. But the phase two, which is steel frame, is giving us the advantage of a reduced cost and also the capacity to go, more stories up. We right now have up to 3, but we have a path to even keep increasing, the capacity of stack more boxes and go higher. And departments are part of the long vision, but they are not right there yet. Let me see what else do we have in. You guys are writing too many that I cannot read. The next one is overwriting.
Keep
the
up,
previous one.
keep up. I'm just playing.
Whereby the golf are the casitas win rated. Yes, so casitas are win rated. There is only few states, and
all right, we're gonna stop it there because he's about to get into this next question. So what I'll do in a smaller video, I'll pick this up. I'm gonna really try and keep to what I'm telling you right now this week. And I'm gonna try and do from 29 on to the hour, the rest of the video in smaller clips on like Clipchamp, and I'll use that. I might just use OBS since one of my guys, my mentees on here, he showed me OBS. I might just use OBS and do that. But on Clipchamp, I can actually put things in the banner and put words on the screen and make them pop and make all visual kinds of effects. Maybe you can do it here. I don't know. There's a lot for one person to do, folks. This is low production up in here, but my wife is helping because she got me a green screen. Her and my brother, actually. I think the green screen came from one of my brothers in the chat, and the chair came from her. She said if the chair falls apart, she blames him because he didn't help her put it together. All right, so anyway, the last thing we'll talk about, apartments. Somebody asked so you see, you have some very smart people. You have some educated, probably potential buyers and investors in the chat. They asked, are y'all looking to do apartments? He said, not right now. But later on, if you listened, he said that is the long-term vision to do apartments. What did he tell you in the beginning of this call? Before he took questions, he said they're looking to solve the affordable housing crisis. He talked about homeless people, college campuses. He talked about $5 million home deficit for Americans. That's what he talked about. So obviously apartments, you got to start connecting the dots. Apartments, he said right now they can stack them 3 or 4 stories high, but they're working on long-term solutions on stacking them higher, which means if they're gonna be stacked, he may have to use a stronger alloy or stronger material in the, just think, it's right there in front of you. For the ones that are gonna rack and stack, they're probably gonna have to use a stronger alloy, stronger material, stronger material to build them out of, because they're gonna have to be able to withstand the extra weight on top of it, right? So that's probably not gonna come out of the production line casitas. Those can be racked, but not stacked. Racks go high as well. You get what I'm saying. You saw what I did. They can connect sideways, horizontally, but not vertically, I do believe. The production line, I think he's saying maybe those are capable of also stacking 3 to 4 stories high. But let me go with what I know for sure. They can actually stack up horizontally. Now, the production line, he said, don't worry. We're not going to sacrifice the production line for these rack and stack high ones. Those are, he told you before, they have advanced ones they're only given to developers because they're going to build tiny home communities. Those will be specially made for them, right? But most of what he's doing is going to come from the production line. What does that mean? They're not messing up the money. They have cash on hand, they're debt free, they're cash positive, and they're cash positive because they because they could only crank out, before I heard 3 to 8 a day. They make 3,000 a year. He said they slow production, which also makes the money trickle in faster than it lets the expenses drain out, right? So it makes them more cash positive. They built more demand for it, right? While showing more use case and the market grows, right? And I mean, they're just phenomenal in every way, folks. This is how you break a company down to the molecule, and this is how you follow a company till they are JP Morgan Chase, right? But this kind of stuff wasn't around. And I actually give a lot of credit to Earn Your Leisure because those guys started in 2019 before the whole pandemic kicked off. And they have been championing, I can speak, hooked on phonics, didn't use it. They have been championing financial literacy since then. They have made talking about finances cool. They have made talking about financials not a boring thing like CNN and Fox News and all these folks used to do, because they brought guys who are just regular dudes. They're not wearing suits. They're not all primp and proper and things of that nature. They made it cool. Now you have Chris Sane out there. Now you have Aristotle Investments or Honey Drip. Now you have these guys. I forget some of the guys my boy sent me, but now it's cool to talk about financial literacy. So you be cool. You be involved in this stuff. I got to wrap this up, folks. The Forge has got to go cold. If you have any other questions, do me a favor, especially if you're in the chat because you're part of the team here. Because my brother, one of my brothers in the chat, actually, his wife, my good old sister-in-law, love her to life, not death. She is the one who made these t-shirts. The first 8 t-shirts I got, 2 green, 2 navy blue, 2 black. What's the other color? Gray, 2 gray. She made them. She got them made. And he supported me since day one. He supported me in the anime scripts that I've been writing for years when I was in college. So he supported me. His wife supported me. The kids love me. I'm favorite uncle. I said that, self-proclaimed. My other brother on here, he's the one that got the green screen. He's the one that got the orange shirt. So there was only one made. He wanted it, so he got it. He went with me to get the shirts made. Waiting on Pink, got you. Let me roll through the chat real quick. And then obviously the love and support I have from the rest of the chat. So do me a favor, chat. Since y'all are part of the team, he said, told you to order Pink. Hey, I will say this. He actually did tell me to order Pink. And I said no because I didn't think there was a market for it. So, all right. What size, Miss Pink? What size? All right. So, where can you get a shirt? Give me, thanks going out to helpers. Give me a couple weeks. I have a speaking event coming up. 2X, got you. Should I have said that out loud? Was that bad? I'm sorry. I've been reading the chat, sorry. But listen, I have a speaking event coming up. It's going to be at Promenade Mall in Temecula on July 5th. It is going to it's going to be a concert outdoors. And that's going to be my first speaking engagement. And it actually came by way of a young man called King Titus. He's on IG. He works at the gym I go to, and I've seen him for years, just had never talked to him. And this just goes to show you just one conversation, because I saw him. Wow, Curtis, the text message I just got. Well, I just looked at. Wow. Sir, you are wild. Anyway, one conversation led to another. So I found out he actually does music. He's actually an artist. He sings R&B music. His dad's a producer. His mom has a podcast. You never know what the person is into that's walking on the street next to you. You have no idea. And folks, I'm going to tell you something. This world was always there. And one of the best friends of my uncle, he told me this when I was like 21, 22 years old. Networking really is the way of the world. It's not money that makes the world go around. It's networking. It's people. It's relationships. You got to understand that, right? The person next to you might be the most interesting person you ever meet, but you'll never know that if you always got headphones on, right? I have the headphones on to hear the chimes on my phone, so I can look down and check it while the video is playing, right? However, we always go around with headphones on in the gym, in your car, on the bus, on the train. We never talk to people anymore. I put a fifth finger up and I didn't list anything else. But we never talk to anybody anymore. And that's the problem, right? Relationship. If you don't have if you don't place any stock in relationships, you're gonna miss out. One conversation led to my first speaking event. Hope to see you there. I'm gonna try and get my wife is gonna be there with a vending table with the shirts. But until then, just wait on some news. When I get them listed on Shopify, I will let you know. I'm gonna try and get them listed on Amazon. See if I can do that. I am a seller on Amazon. My wife and I have a store called the Couple LLC on Amazon. And I'm going to try to see if I can just do Zelle transactions for shirts and all of that kind of stuff. So I'm still working the logistics behind that, but I will get them to you. And the forge is going to go cold. I'm working on getting a hammer too. Go to Home Depot, get me a forging hammer. Y'all gonna see it. And I'm gonna try and get it especially engraved, but one step at a time. We're building this plane while we're flying it. The forge is going cold for this week. Thank you for rocking out with me for a whole 2 hours. Again, this video is going to go up on YouTube. It's probably going to take a little longer because it's going to take a little longer to process, double the video. But please, the biggest thing you could do is share this content out. Tell your wife, your husband, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your brothers, your sisters, your nieces, nephews, loved ones, friends at work. Show it to them. Show them that you're in the chat. Shoot, it shows right up here. It doesn't have your real name up there, right? So show people what we're building over here, and show them how you can actually get in here and learn, and why investing knowledge is real. And if you just regurgitate what you're hearing here, I mean, you're going to help a lot of people. But bring people with you, all right? Thank you, folks, for rocking out with me. And the forge is going cold. See you next week.